If you're like most, you know that AI has promised freedom. It's promised to be an assistant. It's promised to help you do, well, practically everything. But recently we found a tool, Viktor AI, that actually has looked like it's fulfilling on that promise. We just did a training end-to-end showing everything how in all of our multi-seven-figure companies, we're actually using this tool specifically to help us do and launch, design, and manage ad campaigns on Facebook and on Google. We're using it to create copy, to create graphics, to edit videos. We're using it to create SOPs and actually monitor our team using them. We're using it to create cold email campaigns and launch those and monitor and improve them. Every one of these things is being done all through this amazing tool. And we recently did a training end-to-end showing you exactly how we're making that all happen. If you want to try the tool out, there is a link directly below that will let you try it for free and get you some free credits to start out. But otherwise, I think the best thing to do is to just jump right in there and get into that training. So let's hop in, get shit done, and I'll see you in there. Today's session is going to be more of a workshop than a presentation. That means I want you all to be ready to get shit done, ready to put in the work. I'm going to be showing you guys a very, very, very cool tool that we've been using the last few weeks in both of our multi-seven-figure companies, right? This is stuff that we're managing, 30 plus employees and both thousands of clients across the two of them. And we're doing a lot. And I'm going to go over a whole bunch of stuff that we're actually doing in here, superpowers of how we're using it. All of this stuff end to end. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of use cases specifically that we've been doing that have been putting in the work for this and that have been working very, very well for us. So a couple of quick things that I want you guys to do because I want you guys to be actually doing this. If you want to win the $500, we have to implement. Okay. That means today, by the end of the week, that means. Okay. So I'm going to drop a link in here right now. The tool that we've been using is this one right here called Viktor. If you sign up for it and do a few integrations with me together, you actually get to, I think, 40,000, credits for free in there. So you can actually sign up using that link right there that I put in the chat. This is the tool we're going to be using. Okay. And the way that we've been using it is as a true executive assistant. I want to tell a little bit of a story while you guys all go and get signed up under that link right now. Again, you can get started for free for this week while we're doing this stuff. The story is that we were literally about to be having to hire a few different things. An executive assistant was one of them. Another thing was going to be a media buyer assistant in one of those situations there. We were in the middle of actually starting the interview process, starting the hiring process, all of that stuff. Okay. We were just about to have to spend, I would say, probably around $10,000 a month on these different employees. And then we came across a post about this tool here, Viktor. Okay. And what it's been able to do is allow us to not only not have to make those two hirings, this one right here, executive assistant and a media buyer, right? When I'm talking about superpowers that we've gone through, not only did it not make me have to go and hire those, but it's also alleviated some scaling issues on a few other parts of this as well. Now, it's not just in a business that's this size that I want to talk about today that I think this would help out for. I think this would help out for every business of every size. And it will allow you guys to truly be able to scale without having to have a lot of overhead. Okay. So again, the first thing to do here is to click this link. All right. So if we click this link and we put it in our browsers and we go over and we connect it. So the way that this tool works is within Slack. Okay. So you're going to click it. You're going to get started for free. There's a big button right there on here that says get started for free. Okay. And you're going to connect it with Slack or Microsoft Teams. These are the two areas that it works. A lot of you guys who are in the GSD program, I know you all got Slack because we make you guys get in there, but that's where it operates. Once you're in there, it's all conversational, just like this. So you can see Viktor AI Assistant is a chat that I have it in, and then hashtag Viktor right here, where you can see that I'm talking to it back and forth. So the way that I've done it is I originally just had it set up here. And then I had a channel that I made, a public channel that was called Viktor AI Assistant because I wanted a place for my team to be able to utilize it as well. I have since added it to all the other channels. Now, I'm not sure how your company works, but the way that our company works is that we have multiple channels for things like end of day reports. We have closed deal channels. We have sales threads. We have all of these things. And like with any AI, right? Garbage in, garbage out, but gold in, gold out. And so what ends up happening is the more information that I gave it, right, the better it's able to operate, the better it's able to do one of its superpowers that I talk about here, which is being a consultant, right? I can have it be our coach, a consultant for us, be able to push that through, be able to make that happen. So it's really up to you, but the more channels you invite it to, the more information and data it will be able to have, and the more things it will be able to interact with, Vector. So hopefully that helps you with that. Once everybody's in there, for everybody who has already signed up, okay, what I want you to do is now go back to Viktor, okay, and you're going to see all these integrations. Now, you guys are going to get, I think it's something like 10,000 free credits per the first like 3 or 4 integrations that you do. Okay, so one of the coolest things for me was that they really have a lot of intuitive integrations, right? For marketers anyway. So if I were you guys, what I'd like to see you guys do is A, get a whole bunch of free credits so that this week can just be basically all free, right? But B, let's go through and add the ones that really make a difference for us, right? So for a lot of you guys, I think, and you guys can figure this out, but I think the ones that you would probably want to start with, if you have Facebook ads running, connect your Facebook ad account. If you have high level, which most of you guys should have high level, go in and integrate your high level account. Okay. Then the other ones on here can be stuff like if you're running a YouTube channel, this has been great for me. Put this in here. It can help you with your email, or at least scan your email, read your email, be your consultant on your email, your executive assistant, etc. Connect your Gmail account. Okay. Other ones that can be really good for you is if you're using Stripe, connect your Stripe account. Okay. That's so that it can analyze your sales, your transactions, all of that kind of stuff is super useful, right? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of these things are super helpful. And as a marketer, to me, some of the most powerful stuff here has been type in high level, Joseph. See how it looks right here? It's right here on my screen. If you're looking at that, you'll be able to find it high level. It's not under GHL, it's under high level. Has been meta ads and high rows because they can help and connect with one another. It's been high level so that it can analyze certain funnels and statistics and all this kind of stuff. All of these things have been great, but even just being able to help with my Google Calendar and being able to see if there's any inefficiencies there, being able to look at my email account and be able to help me there. All of that stuff has been super, super helpful. I'm going to come back over here and talk one more time about the $500 prize. So how to win the $500 prize. So number one thing, you got to be in the school group, school community. Number two thing, you have to have posted your name and email on this. I'm going to use this as a who is actually opt-in and able to actually connect here. Okay, so this will be the list of who's eligible for it. The next part of this is every single day, I'm going to have you guys post inside the school group. Okay, you're going to post inside the school group a task you had Viktor do, and you're going to describe the following: what the task was, what outcome you were looking for, how much time did it save you, or how much money do you think you could charge for it if you sold it to a client? And is this for you or for a client? These are the things that I want you to be saying. And then at the end of today, you're going to do a post inside of our GSD Facebook group, this one, the free group here. And you're going to give a recap of what it was. And that recap will include the school group link and the referral link to get people onto Viktor. And then next Monday, we're going to look and see who did all of the things, all of that's on here, did the post every day, actually using the thing, putting this to work, and then actually did this post as well. And we're going to announce a winner. We might pull that person up live too to actually join us for the live, and we'll produce the winner and we'll send you guys $500. And if you guys do a good enough job at this and it feels like it's worth doing again, we're going to then turn around and actually do this every month. So we'll have a competition like this once a month for different cool things that we're doing with AI, if that's something that you guys want. Oh, the other part of the $500 thing that I had not mentioned yet is you must be here all the way to the end, because I want to make sure you guys have learned everything you need to learn and are doing everything that you need to do. Okay. Can you connect more than one email address? You can. Yeah. So if I go over here and go to my Viktor account.
Yeah. Are we giving this thing permission to send emails on our behalf? Is that?
Do you want it to? I do.
If it does it right.
Yeah, well, exactly. Right. And again, a whole premise of this is garbage in, garbage out. Right. So like if you tell it to do random shit, it's just going to go off. So it's up to you. right?
Okay.
We'll get into this
No,
in a bit.
can just a quick question to clarify Chris's question for him. Can he have it do the emails and then he has to approve it, be just the first, like to put guardrails on, and then
Yep.
it sends over time?
Everything Victor does initially comes with an approve button.
Yeah.
You can eventually set it to auto approve every single instance so that you don't have to do that. But if you don't, it'll always send you the task inside of Slack and it will ask you to approve it, Chris. So you'll be able to read the email, the reply, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's good.
look at it just real quick and I'll shut up after this. Like treat it like an employee. Say do the work, however the not garbage in, garbage out, but good in, good out, and then it'll send it back to you in a pretty speedy manner. So be prepared for things getting done much quicker than usual. And then it'll ask you to approve it, and you review the work first, then hit approve. So I use it personally for like I'll say here's 18 reels. I'll give it access to a Google folder, an individual folder, and I'll say scan the internet, look for viral content and copy, read the videos, and give me hooks, headlines, everything, and put it in a sheet where I can just simply copy and paste as so instructions so a third grader can follow it. And then it'll just scan everything because it's 18 reels. It has to transcribe, read everything, go out on the internet, find some virality of other reels that are similar, and then give me some posts. That will take about 15 minutes or so by the time it's all completed with the task. And then I have to be prepared. I'm like, oh shit. Now I have it wrote it for Facebook, it wrote it for YouTube, it wrote it for LinkedIn. Now I have to be like, oh shit, now I got the work to do to go post it. I have to now schedule it and etc. So it's pretty exciting and stuff. The speed of how the manner of how it comes. But yeah, have you approve everything first for the first 30 to 90 days or comfort level, whichever comes first, and then you'll be off to the races.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Cody, so in the face, I'm trying to connect the ads in there. I had already done Facebook and I thought that's what was going to take care of the ads, but I got a second prompt for Meta ads. Do I
It's
include?
right here, meta ads, you.
Yeah, I saw it.
Include everything. The answer to all your questions is I turned everything on.
But
That's
not create a new
yeah.
pixel, nothing like that, because it gives you a bunch of options.
No. When you
Okay.
connect an ad account, you get to select page, assets, catalog. There is no catalog. Leave that empty. Just do page, ad account, and pixel. You give it pixel because that gives it data. That's all.
LM funnel data.
Yeah. Yep. And then your other question was, can you connect multiple things? So if you look right here, right, I'm in my Gmail right here. If I clicked here, I can add another account. So you can add multiple accounts. In fact, if you look at our Meta, our Facebook ads account right here, we've got two connected, Thinker and GSD, right? So that we can monitor both of those things. So you can have multiple integrations connected as well.
Okay.
And to follow up on what Rahul was saying, right? And I'm going to go over this in a second. You can actually, what we're really looking to do is to train these things. Okay. You want to have training assets to make the things do what you want them to do. So we have multiple instructions that I can show you of how we actually do this for our stuff. And I'm going to go over that in a sec. Okay.
Are we creating a business portfolio? I'm stuck in one of these pages.
You don't have to create anything. You already have one. Just connect, just select it. Don't create new stuff.
Well, it's going through the prompts and until.
All it is look, if I do it right now.
Now I got an error. Fuck.
Yeah. Look, if I click on this button, I could connect yours in like 2 seconds. Watch, add account. I could call it Chris's because I'm in your stuff, right? I can go Chris. I can go to Meta. Right. All it's doing is telling you to select, right? You don't have to create. Click the drop down and select it.
Okay.
So for yours, it's like here, I don't have full control, so I actually can't, but you would just click this, right? And then select no, leave catalog blank and select these three things. That's all. Okay.
But it was supposed to connect it to both your Facebook and your Meta ads, or just the Meta ads?
It's up to you. I would connect it to both. So now let's kind of go over some of the ways that we're using this. Okay. So number one, superpower number one. Okay. We're going to go through this step by step about how we're doing it, how we're creating stuff with Victor. I think the first and coolest thing is media buyer. And notice how I put trained by our 20-year agency, because I think this is super important. Okay, guys. Again, I keep saying it, but all AI really is garbage in and garbage out. Okay. So what that means to me is that I want to always have it trained correctly. Okay. So what do we have it doing? So what I did at some point in here was I fed our assistant an SOP. Okay. What that SOP said, actually, first thing I did was step one was use it as a consultant. So I integrated our Meta ads, so our Facebook ads account, our Hyros account, and our high level account. I had it run with one single prompt. I told it to go through and analyze. What I had it do was run an analysis of our Facebook ad account the minute that I put it in. So it's probably going to be right. So let's just go through here. Some of these ad accounts. So what I had to do anyway was I had to go through the actual ad accounts once it was attached. Okay. And I first had it find what are the core metrics of those ads. So I know that right now I'm happy with how our ad campaigns have gone, right? And so what I wanted it to do specifically was analyze the accounts that it had attached, cross-reference those with Hyros. If you don't know what Hyros is, it's an analytics software that makes sure that the tracking is all correct, and then cross-reference that with the actual CRM data, okay? And I wanted it to set a baseline. What is the average right now cost per whatever conversion? So booked call, lead, whatever inside those campaigns. Then I told it add $10 or $15 to those averages and then monitor these ad campaigns every 3 days. This is where the SOP comes into place. So every 3 days, look at those ad accounts and look at them for a running time of the last 2 weeks. Okay. Super important. I think a lot of newbie kind of media buyers and Facebook ads people will often look at everything in the moment, like what is happening today, what is happening in the last 2 days, what's happening right now, and they'll overreact, right? But what you want to have is a running average metric of what success looks like. And then you want to be monitoring for a week, like 7 to 14-day time periods, making decisions based off of both those leading indicators and lagging indicators. Okay. So I know I'm speaking a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but you guys get the idea, right? Having that SOP is what makes it important. And so feeding it with that consulting process right there. Again, and if we want to do this work together, so I could tell you this, right? So media buyer process, right? That I did. So analyze our ad campaigns, look at them on a 14-day timeline every 3 days. First it's step 1, set baselines, right? And then step 2, monitor. Okay. And Rahul can attest that we actually have SOPs from years ago for what we used to have, which was humans. How to monitor, how to do all these buried SOPs that you start to think are never going to be used again. And it was like, okay, analyze our currently active running meta ad campaigns and give me the average cost per result for each campaign, cross-reference the data with Hyros, and use Hyros first and foremost if both data sets are available. Okay, so this set the baseline. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, now the second part here was this, monitor. So now look at our active ad campaigns, okay, on a 14-day timeline every 3 days. If any ads have a cost per result above our averages by $10 or more, send me a notification to approve you shutting them off. If shutting that ad off results in there being less than 5 active ads in an ad set, create a new variation for me to approve and publish it, right? Okay, so my SOP here that I would normally have and that I want implemented by our team is that I want to always have 5 or more ads, especially nowadays with the whole Andromeda thing, in each active ad campaign, especially if we're using AI in order to be doing some of the targeting and stuff, right? So we need to constantly be refreshing creatives. If some of the ads fail, get them the hell out. And if that results in too few ads, add more ads to the actual campaign itself, right? And have it be monitoring. So before, we would have a human that would have to monitor these campaigns, look at this stuff, shut ads off, do all this stuff, right? And so one person for a while could maybe monitor and actually manage at most like 10 clients, probably what you'd be able to do before. If you're constantly creating ads, assets, creatives, copy, all this shit that used to be very hard. You know, I know some of you guys have been around long enough to remember, but this shit used to be some of the most time consuming parts of running a marketing agency. Now they've kind of become a lot easier if you train it properly, right? And so this is leveraging superpower number one, which is consultant, and superpower number two, which is media buyer. Okay. So it's ad monitoring process locked in. Then what it's doing here at the end, right? If it's dropping below, it's creating new ads. It's able to do that. And how we did this specifically, and I think this part's really important because again, garbage in, garbage out, right? So what I want you guys to see is here somewhere. I've given it a folder of assets, of graphic assets anyway, where it's training on what we want to actually have it look like. So I've created this folder called Viktor stuff. So when I'm talking consistently, guys, always garbage in, garbage out, it's going to be my biggest statement today because what I want you guys to be doing is leaving here with actual stuff that you're going to implement. And AI has an interesting way of making you think it's giving you good shit, but if you don't know any better, again, it's garbage in, garbage out. And yeah, Hector, you'll get a copy of the document at the end of this for sure, right? And so what I did here is I fed it a whole bunch of our most successful ad graphics and some other ones that I really like from other people's ad campaigns, and I allow it to be trained off of that. But even more specifically, right, I've even got stuff like this. Okay, so you'll see I've given it names: new way, old way, 4-grid style. So now if I go to Viktor right now, right, if I go to the channel and I say, I need 2 new graphic variations for the evergreen, for our evergreen webinar Facebook ad campaign, use the new way versus old way and 4-grid style ad graphic styles from the folder I sent you for training on our style of graphics, and create them for me, right? So now, because I've given it this stuff, right, the folder's full of this, it has this information. And I've done the same thing for the ad copy. Right? I've created a folder full of examples that have worked really well for us before, and I fed it to it. And so now it's able to actually go in, grab the references, create things like this, and be able to go through. Now, a big thing too here that I really like, while it's making those graphics, a big differentiator in here, I'm going to show you, where did it go? I swear it did this today or the other day. Here, look, see? So look at this right here. This is not prompted by anybody. It literally is just right here saying, hey, you guys said in this sales channel that this person purchased something and we're supposed to call them ASAP, and nobody seems to have followed up, right? Like, Rahul, put in the chat if you're still here. How useful is it to have something that is just thinking ahead?
So good. Yeah, I already forgot about that myself. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Like this thing is cool. Like whether it uses credits or not, like it'll throw a fire emoji on some of my posts. And I'm like, oh, I hover. I'm like, who was that? I'm like, oh, fucking Victor. He's so good. Yeah.
The way I describe it, and maybe you can tell me if you agree, Rahul, is that it's an A player employee because it's not just doing and following shit that we're telling it. It's actually reviewing stuff and prompting us. It's thinking.
Yeah.
It's programmed to be looking at shit and come back to us with what we need to do. Right. It's like, hey, you forgot to do this shit. I would do this. I can help with this. But when you start to dig into it a little bit, it helps a lot. Like how useful have you found that so far, Rahul?
It's I'm still training myself to ask AI first, right? Because my first round of repetition is just you do what you're commonly used to doing is talk to the people and ask those questions. But I constantly find myself, let me just ask Victor first. I get the answer immediately, no more questions. Right? Just about our company, because Cody's fed it everything, like our ads account, our sales access to our CRM, calendars, and I can pull things that would have slipped away from the sales environment back into in play again. And then even a lot of my content is written from Victor itself, and then I like to personally just add a little twist of my own flavor and flair. So I have to do a little bit better job of educating it, like how I particularly like to talk a little bit more before I can just say, just do it, and then I copy paste post, and the next step will be automate absolutely everything. Right. So I'll have like the sales manager is now Victor for us. which is super, super helpful because like no one who ever does sales that owns a company and hires other salespeople really look at him as a sales manager because that shit's like fucking time consuming. The training, the tracking, the follow-ups, the emotional support. Victor kind of gives me line of sight of all the data because the numbers don't lie. It just shows me everything. So that's kind of one side of where I like it. Now the limitations are up to obviously the imagination. Now, when I have like 18 things to do, then I just have to shuffle down the excitement to what's the number one thing on that 18 to do. And then once that's fully done, then move on to the next thing. Otherwise, you'll just kind of lose the AI game by doing too much and half-assing through it and never get exactly what you want. So kind of treat it like an employee that can pick up everything, but you're the leader. Once you give it everything, it'll be better than you in that task.
I think that last part that you said, or that first part you said about it being a sales manager, is super interesting because I think it really is. How often have you asked in the past, like, hey, what are the closing numbers? What are the show numbers? What are the whatever? And now because we've given it the documents, the different places where that comes from, EOD reports, KPI trackers, all that stuff, right? Now exists there. But the more powerful part is, and I think this leads into this a little, is again, superpower consultant. We're able to analyze marketing and sales numbers. Rahul, how often in the last couple of months have I showed up at the end of the month for all of our companies with detailed, not only analysis, but
Yeah,
plans
all
of
the time.
attack based on those numbers?
Yeah,
Right.
all the time. Yeah.
Right. And it's stuff that you're able to do. And that's another thing that I do now because I have access to all the marketing and sales and all this shit. But even with me, and I've been doing this a long time, it can get a little discombobulating, right? But because it has access to your CRM, your Stripe accounts, your Meta accounts, whatever, you're able to get it to analyze those things, each individual campaign. I had it analyze one of our lead gen campaigns. I found this to be fascinating. I told it to go analyze one of our lead gen campaigns and cross reference it with GHL. And I did not tell it to do this, but what it took initiative on for this whole, find things from GHL part to me was that it went out and it actually did that, but it found in there, it said to me, hey, I got all these numbers. Here's the leads, but I've also found tags that I think are relevant to you. There's a tag called new student and there's a tag called booked appointment. Remember, I did not tell it to do this. It said, while the number in this campaign look a little bit more expensive, you have way more people that have a booked call tag and for what looks like your end conversion new student tag on here. So even though the numbers say maybe shut this off, the end numbers say to leave these on. Right? That's consultant. That's shit you would have used to have had to have paid a lot of fucking money to somebody to be able to go look at your stuff and figure that part out, to be able to go look at everything and be able to actually see what's going on and make recommendations based off of that. Right.
So Cody, this morning I ran into in my feed, I ran into my own ad, and it was a variation of something you had already shared with me in my folder. Was that you? Or was that Victor created that ad?
Victor created the graphics for yours, the ones
Oh,
that
wow.
the ad copy and graphics it created. I mean, obviously using our training and
Right. But did he
yeah, no,
do that by analyzing the ad account and what was going on and created a new ad
yeah,
creative?
create a combination of the copy training, the graphics training, and the ad account stuff that has been going on already is
Because
how
it's like the same guy holding the thing, but he had all the veins and all the
yeah,
fibers. I was like, that's pretty cool.
right. And that kind of shit. Now imagine you have the thing is it's AI, right? So now if you have 1, 2, 10 clients, it can manage those accounts, right? It can help you have these kind of processes in place. Now you have to not just put your hands in the air and call it a day, but it allows you as a human, right, to now be able to manage 10 accounts, 20 accounts, 30 accounts, 50 accounts because you're being assisted. If you improve a process, right? If you improve your overall SOP, you end up with a winner on the back end because it improves every single account along the way. Now, so far we've gone over media buyer, we've gone over sales manager, we've gone over consultant. The next superpower that I had to do was be my content assistant. Okay. If you go look at my YouTube channel, the last little bit right here, you will notice a couple of videos have kind of popped off a little bit recently. Pretty good, right? So what I've actually been doing, and I started with, let's go all the way up here. One of the first things I did, because this has actually been something I've been working on quite a bit, was right here. I would like to analyze competitors' YouTube channels for outlier videos and generate a list of potential YouTube topics for my channel. Now, in my YouTube growth journey, I have created a whole bunch of assets. I've created a whole bunch of SOPs and video production scripts and how I do research and how I find all of these things. You can see organic growth strategies, all of this stuff in here. So I fed it these documents later. And then I also told it to follow this process. I grabbed a lot of the topic research channels and stuff that I have in here that I've done previously, right? So you can see I have a research process. I have a bunch of competitor YouTube channels, all of this stuff here. And so I fed it all of these channels, right? And I told it to do some research. I gave it my SOP. I told it to do all this stuff, and then it went through. And what it was able to do now is created this, first of all, which was pretty cool, an analysis with all of these different things, these different topics, channel overviews, outlier videos, all of this stuff that it created for me to see. But even better is it now is able to say, cool, I see patterns, right? I see topics that I would recommend, all of this stuff, and be able to do it through here, right? And then I had it start to create hooks, to titles, and all the rest. If you scroll all the way down to where we're at now, I needed here, right? Get YouTube topics for the next thing. So what it'll do is it will create different things. It can use the research that I've already got, right? Remember their channels, remember the stuff that you've got going on, and it will come up with not only ideas for hooks, but also the why, right? It's going to show you different outlier videos it's found recently on different people's channels so that those topics are going well and those topics are doing good. And so it's able to do that way. And it's also creating the thumbnails based, again, on how other people's channels are performing and based on the styles that I've done for it. So if you come back to here again, content assistant, what's it doing? It's doing research, it's doing ideas, and then it's creating thumbnails, it's creating descriptions, it's creating topics and headlines and all of this stuff that should, at the very least, have a better chance to do well. Right? It's able to create this stuff that is able to then perform well based on its own research and notes and able to do that kind of stuff. Now, I'm using it for YouTube specifically because that's where I'm trying to really put my effort in. I want to get up over 10,000 as quickly as possible. About 8,200. We've grown quite a bit this year specifically. Is going quite well on it. And I want to keep it pumping. So that's where I'm focusing mine. And again, a big thing that I want you guys to be thinking of is what is your goal? Right? What is your end goal? Are you trying to create an audience? Are you trying to create a line of revenue? Are you trying to scale your company without getting buried in expenses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Everything is a cool tool and it's going to do amazing. But if we reverse engineer what we want and go from where we want to end up backwards, we start to see how having this type of an assistant, executive assistant, a player, teammate, a business partner, right? A business partner with all the skills you probably don't have that can help you execute on this kind of stuff. That's what this is. And it can really help you get there. That actually goes to Dave's question as well. You know, I'm using Claude. So I've been using Claude, ChatGPT, all these things to do a lot of these things, like a lot of this different stuff. Having it be in one place, having it be integrated to every single tool that I use all the time, A, allows me to constantly train it. B, allows me to communicate with it and disseminate it with all of my employees. I mean, we were in a good spot that we're already using Slack. So every one of our team of 30 people is already in there doing this. And now this assistant is just there to help them all the time. And everything that they do can be added to the overall brain, the overall structure, right? So it does use a memory layer that allows it to remember all this stuff. That's why we can train it on our assets and allow it to do all of that kind of stuff, right? So you're able to make that happen. So you can actually change the LLM that it's using, Dan, if you want to. I personally don't because I'd rather spend more money and get good results. That's where I'm at right now. I haven't tried the other ones, but there is a section somewhere. If I can remember.
So is it a good idea to connect your ChatGPT to it? Because I can't find the API.
You don't need to. It just runs. You don't. You can connect your open API account to it. You can on the other end, but this is you just pick the model here. So I use this one, right? These ones take like 50% less credits, 50% less credits, all this stuff. So it can be good, but I've been quite happy with this, honestly. But anyway, right here, if you go to settings and preferences, you can change the model if you'd like, and you can change the expense inside of there. You can also add custom workspace. instructions over here. Okay, so that's superpower number 2. Superpower number 3, executive assistant. This comes into place for us a lot. And so I have used it specifically. If we go into our internal Slack channel here, you'll see some channels called EOD. So we have these things called EOD reports, management end of day reports, team end of day reports for both Thinker and GSD. Every single employee must submit an end of day report. Now, what this has allowed us to do is monitor, is every person submitting their end of day report? It's not like me and Rahul are going to be able to look every single day, but an AI can check. Now, we have pretty in-depth end of day reports. We have pretty in-depth KPI sheets, right? So stuff for our sales team, stuff for our CSM team, how many people are staying, canceling, how much money, how much generated, how much collected, et cetera, et cetera. But also our CSM channel puts a lot of things like so-and-so has been pissing me off all day, or so-and-so needs a little bit more attention because, they need help. They need these things or help, or so-and-so's project has been delayed. You get the idea, right? And what everybody wants in life and business, once you get to a certain level, is to have an assistant that can actually help you stay on top of all this shit, right? Some of you guys who are in the upper GSD programs have sometimes been like, hey, I sent you a DM on Slack. And if you'll remember, usually what I do is I pull up my Slack and I say, yeah, good luck. There's a reason we have group channels. There's about 1,000 people in here DMing and white channels. I can't figure that out. There's too many people. I don't have enough time. And that's why we have the group channels, right? But now what if you had an AI assistant that was plugged into all those things that could actually help you respond, talk to, communicate, etc., right? You can program it with your own database of information to actually be able to respond to most questions, to be able to do these kinds of things inside of here, to make that happen. Okay. So 3 primary ways that we're leveraging it as an executive assistant has been through monitoring our EOD reports and flagging different potential problems. So that could be clients that are coming up as a problem inside of our EOD reports too often, projects that seem to be delayed, people who aren't filling in their EOD reports enough, right? All of this stuff might sound boring, but it is how a company can function at scale. Right? It's how you can get the confusion, the cobwebs out of your head so that you can focus on revenue generating activities. And I want you guys to think about some of this stuff, okay? Not even if this is not something that might be useful for you, scroll down here and look at what I said on how to win the $500 this week, okay? One of the ways was how much money or time could you charge if this was a task you sold to a client? Do you know how much actual true executive assistants charge? Anybody put in the chat what you think? Somebody who could do all the shit that I'm talking about right now, that was a true executive assistant, how much do you think they could charge for their employment? 80 to 100. Let's say 80 to 100. That makes sense. 200K. Okay, that's even more. That's crazy. A lot. Do you think that this, which can do these kind of analytics, that can perform these types of tasks, that could be trained on what the company wants, is worth that kind of money? I think so. If it's worth that, it's worth at least half of whatever they would pay for a person. Just that alone is a service you could be reselling to companies, is my point, so that you could make that happen and put that to use, right? You've got a media buyer, an executive assistant, a helper, somebody who's monitoring emails, monitoring their team communications, monitoring the ability to be able to perform and create ad campaigns for them. Come on, guys, this is huge, right? That's a skill. That's a true thing that can be an actual replacement for a full employee inside of that. And being able to make that happen is really a game changer for a lot of companies, especially ones at scale. Monitoring and improving KPIs for our sales teams, right? Oftentimes when we're talking about the sales manager thing with Rahul, right, we're able now to be able to see who's got the most cash collected, who's struggling, who is, we not looking at just today, but like if they're struggling for the last couple of weeks, have they been struggling for the last couple of months? Is it their show rate that's bad, their close rate that's bad? Where do they need the most help? Where do they need to be able to be assisted? Right? We let's say just GSD, we have multiple products, like 3 or 4 different tiers of products, multiple sales teams, setters. We've got all kinds of webinars and ad campaigns and everything else going on. So what levers are being pulled? What effect is it having? How do we not overreact in the moment to each individual thing? By having something that's monitoring all of that helps. The analytics at the end, the consulting at the end of the month, takes a look at every single thing that happened, where it takes a look at every single thing that was done, how that's different from the months before, allows us to take a macro view, right? And then the assistant in the moment is able to report to us certain things that are going on. Monitoring and improving SOPs. So one of the cool things that you're able to do with this is if you have enough things plugged in, you could actually give it an SOP and say, monitor our people. So one of the ways that I've done this is I've said, I expect our CSM people to be doing this SOP for communications for our clients every single week. Here is the actual document. Monitor them. I want you to monitor their end of day reports, and I want you to monitor the actual client channel itself. And I want you to report back to me if what is supposed to be done is actually getting done. And it feeds me that report once a week on all of these different people, on our different CSMs, and able to do it that way, right? So you guys can see how that would work. So again, what have we covered so far, guys? We've covered media buyer, superpower number 1, media buyer. Actually, I forgot to go back and look at see if it sent me oh, it did, right? So we've got this, look, see? So again, because I told it, right? What did I tell it? I told it to use, where are these things? All right, I said 4-grid style and new way versus old way graphic styles, right? Because I trained it by giving those specific graphics a name, okay? And then what did it do? It gave me exactly that, old way versus new way style and 4-grid style right here, right? Trained on our exact graphic styles. It's got me in there as an image in there to be able to do. You guys think that they came out pretty good? Think it listened pretty well, right? It took what, 19 to 12, so 7 minutes for it to create those 2 graphics for us to have another set of graphics to be able to use in that ad campaign. Right. And so now if I wanted it to, I could tell it to go publish those ads inside of the account. Sorry, did somebody talk?
Yeah, Cody, real quick. What is it using to create the content? Is it connecting? I saw you could connect HeyGen.
So it comes pre-built with certain models. So you don't need to connect anything for it to make images. I think it's using ChatGPT image and a couple of other things on the back end automatically. Same with if I wanted it to make an AI video, it will use whatever preset model that it has already. So it does some of these things without you integrating anything. However, if you want specific things, right, to be integrated, you can come in here and you can look for like different video editing things, different stuff on there to make that happen. But it will just do it even without it. And I like I'm pretty sure it's GPT because the original ones looked very ChatGPT, but when I train it, now it uses these ones and it does pretty good. And ChatGPT's image model has gotten a lot better. So I'm pretty sure I asked it at one point. That's what it was.
Okay,
cool.
My Viktor is telling me that it's waiting for you to load some of those into my ad account right now. That's what
but you can tell it to send me an email and remind me. So again, media buyer, content assistant to help me go a little bit more viral and grow my YouTube channel a little bit faster. Media buyer to help me run my own and people just like Chris, who is a client of ours who are running one-to-many campaigns for their ad campaigns, along with both of our company's campaigns. Executive assistant to monitor a lot of these people that are working for me, a lot of the processes we want to actually be in place to help people like Rahul monitor and improve sales team KPIs, to help people like myself monitor and improve CSM and marketing KPIs, all of this stuff. Now, I don't use it for monitoring and replying to emails, but again, an executive assistant could be looking at your Google Calendar and trying to figure out where inefficiencies are in your calendar, looking at your actual Gmail account and monitoring and replying to emails, all of that stuff in there. Superpower number 4 that I want to go over, something really quickly because I think it's kind of cool. We actually did this one for Chris as well, is integrating and launching cold email campaigns. Right. So if you look at instantly inside of here, we actually had for Chris, we had it set up a campaign inside of here, right? It was a 2 or 3 set campaign, right? Where it was launching and monitoring and analyzing the different responses, the click-through rates, all this stuff inside of here. So it wrote the emails, it created the campaign, and then we uploaded the different things inside of there. But you could, if you didn't want to do that, to source the leads yourself, you could even go and put something like Apollo in here so that you could literally just say to Viktor, hey, I need you to go find me a list of potential people in my niche, real estate agents, roofers, those kind of things, and launch an email campaign using Instantly to it. I want you to slowly warm up the email. So launch it at whatever you want. So I had it actually design a lot of the stuff for it, where it told me exactly what it would do. And I gave it my own SOP for warming them up a little slower, pushing them through a little bit differently. But it was able to not only create the cold emails, that the actual copy, but also manage, monitor, and update the campaign on an ongoing basis. It actually flagged a couple of times because the campaign got shut off because of different issues like bounce rate and stuff, and was able to fix it and manage that on the back end to be able to.
I was just about to ask you, it fixed the bounce rate?
Yeah, well, it was able to
That's impressive.
continue it forward, right? There's so many tools inside of here that you
Just that alone to sell that service as a penetrating email in the inbox sells itself right there.
Right. And again, like that, what I'm listing off these superpowers, each one of these things is stuff that people charge thousands of dollars a month for. In case that isn't clear, right? What have I listed off so far? Media buyer, that's an Facebook ad agency. Cold email campaign specialist, that's a whole fucking agency on itself, a whole service you could sell for $1,000 a month. Consultant, you have no idea how much those people charge. A lot, right? Executive assistant, we already went over that. So every single step of this is different services that you could be doing, selling, using for yourself. When we look at this down here, again, what I'm looking for this week is creativity, right? I want you guys to be posting every day what tasks did you have to do and what outcome you were looking for with that task. How much time did it save you, or how much could you charge for that if you did it? And is this for you or a client, right? I think that this alone, just between what I'm showing you here and what you're going to be doing by posting every day this week and doing something every day this week, is going to really get the blood flowing, right? Get the creativity going, get you guys to understand just how this thing could operate for your company, okay? And be able to do it that way. Now, I want to show you one other way that we did this. So me and Rahul, I'm going to give him full credit for this. I think it was last week or the week before. He was like, okay, we're going to be an AI first company, which really we should be anyway. We own an AI company, right? And one of the things was, we're going to just start thinking to ourselves, can we solve this with AI? And one of the problems Rahul has had for a while is getting salespeople to want to do their job. No, wait, sorry. It was a different way of wording it. Getting salespeople to do anything other than make calls and make money. So one of those things is, creating a contract. Sounds pretty easy, right? It doesn't sound like the biggest pain in the ass in the world, but you would be surprised at how inefficient it was for us to be doing this through PandaDoc. So we decided to think, can we use Viktor for this, right? Something that we're starting to become more common with is that. And so what we ended up doing, if I come over to here, right, you can see right here at Viktor, can you send a contract, total amount, payment terms, and done. And what did it do? They created a contract for this person, Gil Cargill, right? Over here, it added whatever extra stuff he wanted for that, the payment terms, and then sent our contract out for it right away. So because we integrated it into our Viktor, we actually integrated PandaDoc, right? And I provided it an SOP. So what I did was I built a template inside of PandaDoc itself that had a spot for payment terms, had a spot for additional items that might be added or whatever from the sales team. So different contractual stuff there. And then made an SOP for Viktor that every single time you're tagged and provided with these 3 pieces of information, you update this and you send it right away and you CC this person, right? An SOP that I'm training it on every time, that it will then send it out. And so now anytime a salesperson ever needs a contract, he doesn't have to bug me, Rahul, the CSM team, any of them. They just tag our executive assistant. They give it the 3 pieces of information and it follows the SOP to get those contracts out, right? So that is another thing that can save you shit tons of time over the process of a lot of stuff going on. Nobody wants to do this kind of admin work, right? This can do that for them. Everybody's seeing the stuff here. I got one more really, really cool thing to show you guys. How is everybody thinking of this right now? How are you thinking of using this? Brian says cold email campaign, Facebook posting from Chris, prospecting processes is good. And Joseph, it is already trying to make recommendations. Also, don't forget to just ask Viktor. A lot of the stuff that I learned in the beginning was getting emails from Viktor and just asking it, because there was so much shit that it can do that it was kind of cool. Media buyer, repackage this and implement it for my clients. I love the concept of this being another service that you could sell, right, guys? Get Victor to find me the email for the demo challenge. Yeah, see, Rahul, there you go. You're looking for how do I connect this to the demo challenge, because I think that'll be really cool. Troy said that get Victor to find me emails that I need for the demo challenge is actually a great idea. I like that. Huck says cold email marketing. Dora, streamlining organization. Dan, ad manager, set up payment link processing, contract admin, reporting. Exactly. I cannot tell you how useful this has been, guys, for reporting, like creating reports and tracking and stuff for clients has been absolutely huge. Okay. Now I want to introduce you to one more thing that we built for the partner program recently, that Victor was actually how we built it and how it was all put into place. Okay. So in the partner program, if you guys didn't know this, up in the upper levels of the GSD, the partner program, it's called partner program because you get access to us, to everything. So our whole GSD portfolio of companies, right? Everything from Thinker to our GHL development arm to our agency, all of that stuff to be able to use for your own companies to create and do things for you, but also to white label all of those services for your clients. Okay. And so what that ends up doing and creating is a lot of tertiary level things that we have to track. And so Rahul, in all of his genius, he hates this now. I don't know why, but he said to me, he said, I really need a way to look at all this stuff. Rahul is a young spring chicken. I don't know if you noticed this, but he's been using this thing called Basecamp from 1993, I think. I can't remember when he got it first, but it looks like it was designed in the 80s. And so all it had was, he's not even smirking. I can't tell if he just doesn't like my jokes anymore, but it was a way to, like, every single client was in there and every single client had these threads of communication. Even though I hated the rest of the features on it, he always wanted that thing. Like, how do I see a client, all the shit they've got, and where, and he's like, and if it was that, but it also had a Domino's pizza tracker. He doesn't like the Domino's pizza tracker anymore, but I loved that. For honestly, I thought that was the best thing ever. If I could have Basecamp plus Domino's pizza tracker, I would be very happy. And I was like, okay, so what happened was we just gotten this and we were kind of looking at building this with somebody else. I was like, let's just see if Victor can, I hate this word, but vibe code this for me and do it this way. And so what we ended up creating is this entire thing called the GSD Client Hub, where all of our inner circle people that have come in over the last couple of weeks, and if you click into them, right, you can see their white gloved or white labeled clients and their own projects that are here. You can click into their white labeled clients. You can see the individual projects. They have due dates, assigned reps, checks, progress updates, and the Domino's pizza bar right here, right, that I can share with individual clients to show them exactly where the project is, exactly when it's supposed to be due, and the progress of the actual checklist individually. And
Are
this,
you trying to share the screen, Cody? Sorry, are you trying to share the screen? Okay, there you go. You couldn't see it before.
oh, is it not? It didn't load? Okay, hold on. I'll go back.
Yeah.
So this is the hub, right? I can go into clients and see all the inner circle, partner program clients, etc. I can click into their clients themselves. I can see their active projects or their white label clients. And for their white label clients, I can see where the projects are at, checklist of what needs to be made, scope of work, documents and files. I can update the status, and I can share progress individually of just that project and have the Domino's pizza bar. Okay. Now, if you look up here, what does that say? Victor. So this is actually created entirely through Victor. So it helped me vibe code an app. Now, I did a whole bunch of architecting this out to make sure that it ended up this good. And yeah, Chris, every partner program person is going to get access to this week, actually. We're rolling this out. But it was able to create that app for me to help me manage a big part of the whole company, right? And Rahul, it was like a 2-minute conversation we had that ended up creating all of this, because we were either going with something else or we're doing this. And then it was alive, in a week? Not even?
Yeah, weekend or something. I think I ordered actually a Domino's pizza, and I'm like, why can't we just have this? And then Cody built it over the weekend.
And so, like, I don't know, guys. Two big things from this for me, right? What could we do with this? Right? One, you could build something like this for your own company. But two, there's a concept that I really like lately. It's micro SaaS as lead magnets. right? There's a lot of people that want to create and do things that just high level just can't quite do, or this other thing can't quite do, and just don't overthink it. Are you going to build some mass market app like what we've got with Thinker and all this stuff through this? No. But can you build something that solves a problem for a client pretty quickly? That's a part of your solution, that's hosted on your thing, right? That's attached to your stuff. One thing that we have with this is because Viktor is our Viktor and built this for us, when it creates assets for clients, it can move the timelines forward automatically inside the app as if it was our actual employee. It can ping us when due dates are overdue for certain things to actually get hold of people and be like, hey, you have to go update this project. It can help manage the stuff inside of here. And that's what I want you guys to be thinking. To me, the two core ways that you could use this again is to build something for your own. Joe just turned purple. Why did you turn purple? I distracted the hell out of it. That was kind of cool. I'm gonna say it's GSD purple in solidarity.
It's a memory issue on my laptop. Sorry.
All good, man. But yeah, so you could
better that way.
You could create it for yourself.
I used to be from Ann Arbor, so that's probably some influence there, I guess. Some purple.
I don't know what would you say, Chris? Oh, he has a question. Wanted your attention. Okay, cool though, right, guys? Right? That app came to fruition and that has solved a very large problem for us. So again, app developer, media buyer, consultant, cold email, executive assistant, there's so many things that we've just gone over. And I don't want to overwhelm you, but what I do want to do is get your blood pumping. I want you guys to start thinking, how can I do this? Okay. How can I put this to work? Okay. What I would love for this is I'm going to pay one of you guys $500 next Monday. Okay. I would like to you'd be so excited. You go take that $500, you put it into this so that you can go resell it, right? And go make some money. That's what I want to see. Get shit done. Make this work. Make this happen. Put it as another bullet in your chamber that you can go put to work for yourself and for your clients to make this happen. Okay.
Can we white label this stuff? No.
Right, yeah, so just master something yourself for your own business that solves a big problem. Share those experiences over and over, and then people will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's typically how it's best to do, is not just immediately go to the resale process. It's more like figure it out first, learn some gaps in the business that you want, fix other gaps, and keep it always improved until it's like, all right, this department or this role feels very good. I just have to check in every now and again and improve it every now and again. Once you've mastered that and you've seen success with it, just document your journey and people will come. Because if I try to sell something too quickly, then it's a little hard to explain. But if I just talk about it, people say like, how did you do this? Then I just can ask the simple question, what do you mean? Right. And then they can explain themselves further, and then they can tell me why it's painful. And then once it's painful, I can say, hey, there's a solution for that. It's going to cost a lot of money, but then it won't ever happen again. And then I can be a consultant, right?
Now, what I'm going to do, okay, as we wrap up this part of the training, I'm going to create a folder with some ad copy training, ad graphics training, and a couple of SOPs for you guys. So when I put the recording of this video in the school community, which will be there by, let's give me until end of day tomorrow, okay? I'm also going to, hopefully by end of day tomorrow, have a folder with these training assets for your new AI employee, your new AI assistant, that you can use exactly how I've shown you today for training it. Okay, because you're going to want to have SOPs, you're going to want to have different training assets, all of this stuff. I don't want to leave you guys to have to do this stuff on your own. I'm going to give you guys a head start, okay, because that's what we're all about. Now, those are going to be in the first comment under the video when I put it in. This is going to be a training module inside of the course area of the school group, and it's also going to be a post, and it's going to be in both of those. I'm going to give you guys the assets with it, okay? Now, everybody start with this one thing. Your biggest, if we were to look at these superpowers one more time, which one do you think was your favorite that I went over? Which one do you think would have the biggest effect on your company, the biggest effect on what you've got going on? Put that in the chat. Which is your favorite one? Or if you came up with a new one, Chris says Facebook ad manager, media buyer. Yep. Content assistant from Joseph, media buyer or content assistant, executive assistant. Okay, we got variety in here. That's good. Cold email, personal assistant and cold email manager. I like that. Consultant, media buyer. Yep. Consultant. Consultant's a big one, especially if you have data for it to look at. If your clients are going to have a lot of data, or if you're working with people that have a lot of moving parts, consultant really will be a huge thing. Facebook, then content consultant. Love it. Cool. Okay. So now, next part. Who wants to win $500? Anybody want $500? Put a fire emoji or a hell yes in the chat if you would like to win $500. Rahul, you're ineligible. but I like your enthusiasm. I like your enthusiasm.
I heard that. Didn't hear a lot about the training. No, I'm just kidding.
We got hell yes, hell yes, hell yes, hell yes, fire emojis. Okay, so most of you guys want to win $500. Okay, so I think there's a couple of you guys that kind of hopped in here just late. So I want to go over one or two more things. A, you must be in this school community. B, you must post on this thing right here. Okay, this post, you have to put your name, your email. C, you have to be here at the end of this call, which is about to be ending in like 10 minutes. So that's good. I'm taking a screenshot literally right now of all those that are here on this call so that I can have the names recorded. If you hear the screenshot noise, that's what it is me taking pictures of all your names so that I know who's here. Okay, that's how you start to be eligible. The next part of what you need to do is go to here, the Facebook group, the GSD group, okay? Right now, at the end of this call, okay, you must post in here, and I'll grab it from here, right? This was right here. You must post about the training, what you learned, along with the school group link and Viktor sign-up links included in the post, however you do it. Make it good, make it long, make it enough so that other people see it. Okay, so you must post. Oops, I'm going to write this in the chat right now. Post in this group about the training, what you learned, right? Your biggest takeaway / what excites you the most.
In someone else's
The
car.
school group.
I got it for like
You have
$6.
to include inside of that. You're gonna have to put in there, and you have to include the school group. So you say, "I'm so excited about the training we just did on all this stuff in the Cody school group. Here's the link for." We learned all about Viktor and all the different cool shit that it can do. Here's what I'm going to do first. Here's my biggest takeaway. So pumped. Here's the link so that you can join too. Okay. Once you've done all of that, you're eligible officially to join the $500 challenge. Okay. The next part is you have to post every single day. Every single day for the next, I'm going to say all the way until Saturday, because on Sunday, I'm going to review everything and actually add up, going to make scores based on the quality of the posts, the amount of time and money you think you've actually been able to save, how good the idea was, if you've done all this stuff, how good the post you did in our group was. All of that stuff is going to have a score, and we're going to pick a winner based on the quality of all of that. Okay. So then every day from today until Saturday, you have to post in the school group and you have to put these things in here. Save these instructions. Save these instructions. Okay. Post every day in the school group. So today's takeaway post has to be in the Facebook group. Then the everyday post after that, when you're actually using Viktor and doing stuff, has to be in the school group. Is that clear to everybody? Yes? Okay, cool. So then I am going to be looking out for posts in the actual GSD group. Okay, I'm going to be looking out for those posts today. And if I see them, your name will be officially added to the list. So we will be cross-referencing the post in the school community. We will be cross-referencing the actual posts in the community every day and the people who have posted in the Facebook group. And then you will see an announcement next Monday on who wins it. Now, is this something that you guys would like to see us doing every month? Some sort of competition to get you guys to use the AI tools to actually be producing these kind of things? This is what I want. I want to bribe you guys to be more active, right? Because what I want is to be challenging you guys to get out there and produce shit with some of these AI trainings we're doing. And I want to see more sharing, more community, right? We always talk about rising tide lifting all boats. And I think it got a little quiet in the school community for a few weeks there. And I think we need to be participating a little more. And my favorite way to do that is to pay you guys with something, because you guys love bribes, right? So I think we keep doing that. Jamie says yes. Celeste, yes. Troy, yes. Joseph, yes. And then what? Cool, guys. All right. We good? We feeling good? Yes? Good? hopefully, I mean, for me, man, my brain gets going. When I start doing this stuff and teaching this stuff specifically, my brain just, oh, I forgot about this. I could have done this. There's all these ideas. So if this goes well, maybe we even do more Viktor trainings, honestly, specifically. We can add that in as well. We can keep it rocking and rolling. Check the Facebook group. The details are in there, okay? Cool, guys. All right. Bye, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for spending the time to watch that amazing training. Like I mentioned previously, my intention is for you not just to watch that training, but if you got something out of it, if you think this information is useful, I want you to continue that journey with us. And you can do that in a couple of ways. One, I want you to smash that subscribe button so that you get notified every single time we put another one of these out, which will be at minimum once to twice per week. The other thing I want you to do is go ahead and click that next video right there beside you so that you can dive in and get shit done. Hope to see you out there.